Given the population of Dunstable is 37,400 people, 2013, it's not been possible to establish how representative a sample of these views are for the wider community. The poor response rate can even be interpreted as a failure to inspire the support of the wider community for the proposal. Even if those replies received are unanimously in favour, it is not possible for the council to interpret this as to provide any form of mandate for the proposal. Any diversity of opinion in the responses can only undermine the democratic legitimacy of the council's further pursuing the proposal. This is the proposal, obviously, to close Dunstable Centre for an 18-month period, during which it's going to be redeveloped and to incorporate the library as well as some of the other services. So we feel that the 20 million investment is extremely welcome, but there's been a failure to establish the true value of that money argument for that proposal. The council's overstated in their issues and options report that. The impact of the refurbishment of the main sports hall is normally felt in an increase in attractiveness, and these centres lead to higher use capacity and annual recruitments. However, Dunstable Leisure Centre is already at capacity, so therefore makes no difference, based on obviously your report. This option had an increase in impact over time and is small scale. The option still leaves the facilities in the local area and overall capacity with additional halls that will be working to free this up. The option to refurbish the swimming pool has a limited impact on satisfied demand, and this diminishes over time as the relative attractiveness of the refurbished pool increases. Throughputs increase in the short term, and some expected demand outside is drawn back, but the area remains as a net exporter. The capacity issues remain, and the pool is mainly full. This is a relatively cheap option. So that's a statement on the report. So perversely, the 20.1 million refurbishment of Dunstable compares very poorly with 15 million new people fitted, a proposal that appears even more bizarre when considering the relative usage statistics. So, to quote, individual reports show that the main pools in the district are mainly operating above the comfortable capacity at peak times, fitted 87%, Tinfoot's 80%, Dunstable 100%, considerably increased comfortable usage levels. So refurbishment also fails to provide other identified community needs, including the indoor bowls, indoor tennis, and gymnastics. A new facility would be better able to increase with the increased demand for fitness gym stations, group exercise rooms, better changing facilities, designated school changing areas, a better cafe area, and a vastly improved pool area. The only argument in favour of retaining 40-year-old pool tanks is that they don't currently leak. Pool design, shape, lighting, ventilation and drainage are all arguments in favour of the new build. This proposal appears to be focused on how the council can best use its facilities rather than a comprehensive and cohesive plan for service provision to meet community needs. Housing the library and Sisters and Viceroy are under one roof may help with service costs, but has little in the sense in terms of meeting the value of the leisure services demands for the local community. If the leisure centre is retained centrally, then there is an option confirmed by the council architect to replicate successfully fitted pool and locate a brand new facility with various football pitches to the rear of the bowling alley. Unaccountability of this option seems to be dismissed, and favour of football pitches will only be considered after the leisure centre proposal has been finalised rather than in conjunction with it, which does not represent joined up local government thinking. There are alternative sites available, including the courthouse across the road. There is also considerable merit in considering sites outside of the central town centre, as Inspire and other modern values have now been built in neighbouring towns. Also on main roads away from main town centre congestion. There is little connection between the leisure centre usage and the need to access the town centre shops and services. An out-of-town site would benefit from having its own car park rather than competing with town centre visitors. Critically, the proposed closure of the leisure centre for 18 months would be catastrophic for the swimming club. When Houghton Route and Leisure Centre closed, the local club was unable to continue, the impact would be equally adverse for many other young children learning to swim and the schools who rely on the centre for their lessons will be significantly impacted. The number of schools using Dunstable Leisure Centre are concerned that the proposal with some units is asking for year 3 and year 4 swimming programmes. CBC's consultants highlighted that, quote, the recent closure of the pool at Houghton Regis is considered to have had a serious impact on local swimming, particularly in daytime school activity. Central Bedfordshire Council has completed a highly successful new field leisure centre at Flitwick. CBC's own consultants in 2012 recognised that greater demand in Dunstable Leisure Centre at Flitwick, which is why it remains incomprehensible that the local community, that the proposed solution for Dunstable appears to be to further refurbish a 40-year-old centre. This cannot be right for our community, and we strongly recommend proposing withdrawing in favour of this solution.
Thank you very much indeed. Cllr Dalgarno, would you get a response to that, please?
The redevelopment of the leisure centre is a key part of the Council's leisure facility strategy. The leisure strategy sets out, based on evidence and consultation, what facilities and improvements are needed and where in Central Bedfordshire. The Council is committed to implementation, having approved over £14 million worth of investment for the whole of our estate, including Flitwick and Diddenford. The leisure strategy told us that the old Flitwick Leisure Centre was unsuitable, it was unusable, and the pool needed to double in size. We have delivered that as a project. The leisure strategy also tells us that the level of expansion required in Dunstable is not the same as Flitwick. Dunstable has a shortage of health and fitness and group exercise space. The condition of the pool needs to be improved, but the size doesn't. We have spent time considering the range of options in Dunstable which address the priorities in the leisure strategy, and the leisure strategy and the potential within it gives us an opportunity to totally transform both the leisure service and the library in the town, and from it create regeneration opportunities which are so desperately needed in Dunstable. To develop our proposals for Dunstable, we've been listening to and working with leisure centre users, the clubs and the wider community to shape proposals for these new facilities and services. We've also listened to the complaints from current users, complaints about the quality of the facilities like the pool, the changing rooms, the outdated gym, and we've also listened to library users who have endured a number of closures as urgent repairs have been undertaken. This was all considered before setting out our proposals for feedback, and having just closed the 3 months consultation period on these proposals, we are now making changes to our plans based on the feedback. We will be updating the public following this meeting to be completely transparent about the feedback we have received and what we are changing as a result of it, and why we're not changing some specific areas. This information will be in the library, the leisure centre, and on our website in the next few days. And I go on to respond to the issues in your petition more specifically. We've been discussing the proposed rebuild of the leisure centre with the swimming club and other users such as the summer aqua and the underwater hockey clubs early in the process, so that we were clear why we were proposing it and we understand what you would like to see in the redevelopment. Through our conversations with the chairman of your club, we were aware that any changes to our proposals would not be made until after the consultation was closed, so that we consider all of the feedback before making changes to our plans. Certainly wouldn't want to predetermine any outcomes. We've now considered the feedback carefully and agreed that the current leisure centre in Dunstable is old and not fit for purpose, and this is why we've made proposals for such significant investment. A new building. We've considered whether building a new facility would be better. We've looked at what facilities are needed and what would be the cost, and we've tested that cost of our proposal with a number of building contractors who have undertaken projects like these before. We've considered the site very carefully, and due to its central location in the middle of Dunstable, with access to car parks, public transport, etc., it remains the best location of the services we propose. Combined with parts of the buildings that can be used, this option is also the most cost effective. We've assessed the cost of the building, a new facility on the artificial pitch, and found that would be more expensive. This is because we'd have to excavate new pool tanks, build a new pool hall, and build a new sports hall, all of which we already have, okay, and they are in good condition. The courthouse site is another site we've considered, but it is too small. We've also considered a new site out of town, but that would not benefit Dunstable, as it would mean our customers would have to drive out of town. The cost of this option would be even greater than the build on the current site, as we would have to provide a large car park. Our proposals would ensure that the leisure centre is a modern, fit-for-purpose community space. The only infrastructure elements that will remain will be the pool tanks and the sports hall they sit in. The sports hall, the squash courts, everything else would be renewed, and the purpose built to high specification to accommodate the changing needs of the Dunstable community. In particular, requests for improvements that we can provide. We've had some very positive feedback about the improvements we are proposing for swimmers, many of which you have requested yourselves. 80+% of the responses have supported the need for new changing rooms and a pool redesign and refurbishment. I'm therefore pleased to be able to say that we will include the following which you have requested. Disabled access to the changing rooms and access into the pool. The turn walls, removable turning boards, will be fitted to the pool surround. Storage facilities in bigger proportions than that which you currently have, and a segregated school changing facility, 2 entirely new accommodating 18 children in each in the wet side, and in total will increase the capacity for changing from 60 to 100. We're going to remove the triangulated area in the shallow end, and we'll also improve the ventilation with an entirely new system being fitted. We improve the drainage, again with an entirely new drainage system being fitted, and we improve the lighting with a new lighting system being fitted. The swimming club have asked for more natural light, and the existing glazed area will be replaced with Cllr, a modern product which diffuses natural light without providing glare. An entirely new air handling unit in the pool and the changing rooms will be fitted, an entirely new water filtration system to the pools, and entirely new changing rooms will be managed. As a swimming club, you also raised other specific issues that impact your day-to-day use of the pools, including the low level of natural light in the main pool hall, the deep end V-shape in the main pool, which gets in the way of coaching and training space and judging strokes, and the need for more space for spectators. We'd like to discuss all of those improvements with you further, subject to securing additional funding. We think there are changes to the current design that could help address those issues specifically. In terms of competition requirements, there are some other specific requests that have been made which relate to competition requirements, which we won't be including in the design for Dunstable Pool. This is because we have a community pool in Dunstable rather than a competition pool. We already have 2 competition standard pools in Central Bedfordshire, and there is an Olympic pool in Luton. We do appreciate that any closure would need to be as short as possible to minimise disruption to our customers and to make new facilities available as soon as possible. This is why the method of closure will be an important part of the discussions we have with the main contractors, and we will seek to minimise the build as much as possible. We'll also work hard to give options to all our customers so they continue to take part in sport and physical activity during the closure period. This is why we're expanding our health and fitness facilities at House and Regis and working with our partners at the Grove to upgrade rooms as multi-purpose spaces. For swimmers, that includes including the 90 members of the club, schools and other swimmers, we are looking closely at the programmes at House and Regis, Tiddenfoot and Flitwick to offer alternative options to you and to the schools. We've worked with dads to disabled sports and have confirmed space for them within House and Regis. And finally, it's important to say that we've been proposing a new build on another site when we still couldn't guarantee that the current facility would stay open until the new building was complete. The swimming pool roof is already failing and is netted off, and any further failure could result in its permanent closure. Thank you, Mr. Chair.